What is up, comic fam, and welcome to the Legion of Comics. Today, I've got not just a CGC unboxing, but a CBCS unboxing with a twist on it. But before we get into that, check this out. Huge shout out to Big Time Collectibles for sponsoring the Legion Loot monthly giveaway for the channel members. Be sure to follow them on social media, and they are also on Whatnot now, so do not miss out on some awesome deals and exclusive content from them over on that platform as well. If you're looking to get anything cleaned or pressed, hit up Justin Comics over on Instagram. He can take care of you for as little as $10 a book. If you use that promo code WeAreLegion, you can take advantage of that buy two, get one free special we got going on. If you're looking to get anything graded, he can also submit directly to CGC and CBCS and save you the hassle. So don't miss out on that awesome opportunity as well. All right, like I mentioned, we've got CGC, we've got CBCS, but we got a little twist on it. So what's going on with this today is this is a package not just from getting books graded. It's also, so I sent stuff in to get graded. I have a straight purchase, and I also have something from Nick. So as y'all know, me and none other than Nick's Kicks and Comics, we kind of send each other, I call them acts of kindness. He calls them acts of revenge. We've kind of been going back and forth. So I'm kind of really nervous to open this one. If y'all might have seen my comic skin review video, you saw where I put together the Juicy Jason variant for him. If you check his Instagram, you can take a look at that. He's got a one-of-a-kind signed Robbins #2 Juicy Jason variant with moist pages, signed by Tim Seeley himself. So Nick told me that he's really excited for me to get this package in the mail. So that leads me to believe that he is up to shenanigans when it comes to that. So I am excited to get into it. I'm actually recording this video way early compared to when I'm going to be able to actually put it out, because I want to get into it and see what it is. As I talked about in last week's video, I got mails piling up, but I'm going to start with the small book first. And while we do this, I'm going to kind of talk about CGC versus CBCS for me, because I know that there's a lot of people out there that are just one company or the other for whatever reasons. As you can see from my background and from my videos, I deal in both companies, as well as I don't even mind these comic skins, different strokes for different folks. Like, what are some of the big differences between the two companies, So I think to kick it off, I think the biggest difference, if you don't already know, would be the most important one, really. If you're trying to sell books, CGC just commands a higher resale value. They've been doing it the longest. They started the whole grading process thing, the encapsulating, and they've just been at it for the longest. They're kind of just the standard. Now, CBCS did get started by a person who worked with CGC, so they know what they're doing. It's going to get loud. Try to get through that real quick. Sorry. So they know what they're doing. So there are small variations between them, between the cases, the way the labels look, the money, and a lot of it's going to come down to personal preference. There's people that I talk to that have only gone with CGC, and that's all that's in their collection, and they don't want a CBCS. My good friend Steve from Burke Family 54 Comics, he has only CGC slabs in his collection, and for that reason, he doesn't want to start with CBCS because it'll just throw off the aesthetics of what he has going on. And that's understandable to an extent, like that makes perfect sense. But then DJ Links, another friend in the community, he was doing the same thing. He only had CGC, but then he got a CBCS book. And then that's where one of the big differences of the two actually kicked in firsthand for him. Man, this camera just keeps going blurry on me. I don't know what in the heck is going on. But he got a CBCS book in hand, and it changed the game for him. Like, he's like, this is a lot better than I expected. It's really nice. And then here recently, he did his first big submission directly to CBCS. So let's look at this first book I got in. If the camera will stay non-blurry, I don't know why it does that. So the first book I got in, and this is from 1994. It's issue number 1 of Hulk 2099, and this is CGC slab. Hulk is my guy. It's my dude. My favorite Marvel character, hands down. Easily tied. Dude, Superman's the greatest hero of all time, but Hulk is always kind of like just a little bit more interesting for me. And this is super hard slab to find available in high grade options. It's just not a heavily slab book, and all these 2099 books are horrible, absolutely horrible when it comes to condition overall. So this is very, very odd. This thing was packaged amazingly, like absolutely amazingly. But it looks like there's a little piece of plastic inside the case. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Yeah, you can see it. There's an actual little piece of plastic inside the case. And that piece of plastic is not off this slab. So this one is a 9.4, super duper high grade, but super duper cheap price. You know, I opted for a 9.4 versus trying to shop higher because I got it for like dirt cheap. And there's a little piece of plastic in it. Perfectly fine with me. This is just for presenting. I do have the book raw. It looks like that right there probably was a significant amount of the grade reduction, because surprisingly, this spine doesn't have a single spine tick in it. So that's a gorgeous cover. I love those foils. So that's one big thing that's different about CGC and the CBCS are those white boxes right there, how presentable the labels are. And I'll tell you, the longer I have CBCS slabs, the more used to I am getting to just this flat color versus like that. Like where it fades with the white sticker on it with a grade, and it fades from light to darker blue. That's actually kind of easier on the eyes. This starting to look more and more busy, in my opinion. I still like both companies, but I'm starting to see myself get more and more used to CBCS the longer time goes. All right, let's get into the big boy book. Oh yeah, first off, real quick, this is not the first appearance of Hulk 2099. If you watch my videos, you saw probably a couple months ago now, I did an unboxing of a stack of CGC books, and one of them was 2099 Unlimited #1 that features both Hulk 2099 as well as Spider-Man 2099, but it's the first appearance of Hulk. Of Hulk 2099, not Spider-Man's first appearance. So Spider-Man 2099 first appeared in Spider-Man 2099 issue #1. He did have a preview that came out before that in Amazing 365. All right, so this is what we got from Nick. All right, there's all kinds of stuff going on in this box already. Different stuff all over. Let's see. First package up. Last one is for you from me. This is #1. One, two, three. All right, so there's one slab. And these are the ones that I submitted myself as well to CBCS, and there's CGC in here as well. So there's four books that go through in here. So the last one, as we talked about, there's the Act of Love from Nick Hart's Legion of Comics. We already know that. So let's get into it. Let's see. This is #1. So first off, I submitted 3 books to CBCS, and I sent them to Nick I send my CBCS books to Nick. Most of y'all know that by now, and he's able to do a little light press for me, and he does the walk-in service. So I just piggyback on with him so that we can do the walk-in service. It seems to be faster. So one of the books I sent to him did not come home. And we talked, and Nick does sell comics, so he sells some bangers. Check out his IG. There's some great stuff all the time up there. But one of the books I sent to him was one that he was really wanting as soon as he saw that I had it. And it was this book right here. This is Nice House on the Lake, issue #1. It's the 3rd print, though. And not only that, it's the 1 in 25 of the third print. So this turned out to be the kicker book for this series. You always have that with all the second prints, all the variants, all this and that. There's always one kicker. Most of the time it's a cover A, sometimes it's a different one. This turned out to be the kicker book for the Nice House series, and Nick was really wanting it. So when we saw that it came back at 9, we talked about it ahead of time. Provided it comes back in 9.8, we'll work out a deal for a book that he had on his site, and that's exactly what we did. So Nice House stayed with him, and this book right here is the one that I swapped him for. So let's start with the other ones real quick. So here's the ones that I submitted to CBCS to get graded, and yay! This was one of my favorite series coming out right now. And man, these cases, dude, like when you get them in here, like this is a solid case compared to CGC. Like CGC has good cases. These are just better. They're sturdier, no creaking, never Newton rings, no loose books at all. That was my ring on it. But this is Justice League Incarnate, issue number 1. This is the retailer incentive. It was a 1 in 25. And this is the first appearance of Justice League Incarnate and Dr. Multiverse Maya Chamara, also with a Dark Side appearance. So this is Dr. Multiverse's first appearance, as well as having her on the cover. Like, I just thought it was a gorgeous cover. Like, the background reminded me of like Kirby Crackle and stuff. It's just, I was hoping it'd be a cool character, and it turned out to be one. So I'm like, dude, I want to submit that book. You know, and especially with the event that's coming up with the Dark Crisis, who knows if she might end up being a key player in that. She might turn out to be a decent character. Now, I'm not stupid. I know specking on DC Comics is a long game just because of the popularity of Marvel right now. Like, mainly, y'all, no one's really that naive. Marvel's massive popularity and craze is all fueled by the MCU and people, the general population's introduction of this stuff from the movies. So next book is a Marvel book. It is a Marvel Key, and this is from 1966. Cover art, Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott. Story by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. And this is Fantastic Four, issue number 48 at 2.5, which is a very decent grade. And this was not cleaner pressed at all, just straight submitted. And cool, fun story. Story is half credited to Jack Kirby on the label. You know, Stan Lee laid a script out, handed it to Jack, and Jack turned around and draws a story. Then Stan would fill in the dialogue later. Well, Jack came up with the Silver Surfer all on his own. Stan told him the idea. Jack drew it out and turned it back to him with the Silver Surfer in it. And Stan said, "Who's this guy? Why is he here?" And Jack told him, with a character as big and as powerful as Galactus, he would have to have a herald, wouldn't he? So I thought that was a cool touch, and I'd like to see that he's credited. So are you wondering what book I traded Nick for to get rid of that Nice House on the Lake? And it is none other than Spider-Man 2099 in a CGC 9.8. So we have here Origin of Spider-Man 2099 Miguel O'Hara red foil cover. That is really cool. So keep this in mind. If you don't think that this is his first appearance, that means Invincible number 1 is not Invincible's first appearance. There's also a 6-page preview for Invincible in like 4 different books before it ever came out, which all of those books should then be the kicker book. But there's no consistency in the market that determines these things. It's all supply and demand. But this is the book, and I do have numerous copies of this as well. This is another one of those books you always just had when you were a kid, and you would read them and play with them, and you enjoy the foil on them. But this is, and I hate saying this because of the increased popularity of him because of Into the Spider-Verse. But I've talked about it a long time before, especially with Rob. This is my favorite Spider-Man suit. Like, I just think Spider-Man 2099 is cool. I was a kid when he came out. The skull design, the daggers on his arm. Peter David is just a great writer. Like, that's the guy who's doing the Maestro series right now, who wrote Hulk for forever. Like, he's just a fantastic writer. All right, now for the kicker. What did Nick do? Let's see. It is a slab. I'm trying to see which way to open this. All right. I don't know if he's going to be doing serious stuff or what. All right, let's see. It's a CBCS slab. I see what series it is. I'm trying to take it out. So we have, yes, it's the Department of Truth, issue number 11. Rabbit one-stop exclusive, cover by Gorkum Demir, and this is the Salt Bay variant. So if you watched me and hung out on just like the kind of community hangout streams, I got obsessed with Salt Bay over the past year, like watching his stuff. Like I'm a vegetarian, and this dude's like a meat expert, and I just sit there and like my mouth waters watching this stuff. That's an awesome Salt Bay variant where the woman in red is salting the earth with people. It's just such a cool cover. It's just definitely a personal touch. I appreciate that, Nick. Thank you so much. You rock, man. And as I sent you the shipping today, Nick, I already have the oh that so oh man, this is an inside joke. Y'all won't get that, but act of love in his Trace's hand. Oh, so Nick was doing a stream and I said something, and Nick smart aleckly said if Mark can type a comment without any typos, I'll give him $1. So I wrote a very polite comment, said you owe me $1, mother, whatever. But there's the $1, so that's awesome. But I appreciate it, Nick. Let me know in the comments, who do you prefer? Do you have a preference between CGC, CBCS? Is it really that serious of a deal to you? It's not to me. There's some books that I might just find that I'd rather have with one company or the other, and I might not even have good reason for it. It might just be a convenience factor at that time. It might be that I think this cover would look better this way. Again, I don't resell these books like that. I don't grade them to resell them. I'm going to attempt to with a few things that I got, like the ones that I showed off last Wednesday, these Crane books, because here's a secret. This video was filmed directly after that video. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to try to fund that Brave and the Bold 28, with something like that. I definitely want CGC, and I don't know why. No rhyme or reason, but leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this haul. That was a nice little addition to the slab book collection today. I'm excited. I want to move around some stuff on the display and probably give these things some room to breathe. But until next time, guys, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.